I should have trusted my gut. From the moment I met Jake, something felt off, but I ignored it. And that was my first mistake. When I was 23, I met a guy named Jake on a dating app. At first, he seemed totally normal, charming, funny, and easy to talk to. Our first date was a casual coffee meetup, just to see if there was a spark. He was polite and engaging, and we had a decent conversation. So when he asked to see me again, I said yes. For our second date, we went to a local bar. I started to notice little things about him that felt off, like how he never really smiled with his eyes, or how his compliments felt strangely rehearsed. But I brushed it off, convincing myself I was overthinking. The drinks flowed, and he kept finding small ways to touch my arm or brush my hair from my face. It felt a little forced, but again, I ignored it. Our third date was dinner, and that's when my unease grew stronger. He kept steering the conversation toward uncomfortable topics: his exes, how he didn't believe in personal space, how he thought people were too sensitive about social boundaries. At one point, he leaned in way too close and whispered, "I feel like I already know everything about you." His tone sent a chill down my spine. The date ended with a kiss, but I felt uneasy about it afterward. A week later, we went out again, and that's when everything truly felt wrong. We met at a quiet bar, and from the start, he was drinking heavily. His behavior was different, more aggressive, more intense. His eyes stayed locked on me in a way that made me feel trapped. He laughed at things that weren't jokes and asked strange, unsettling questions, like, "Do you ever feel like someone is watching you when you're alone?" I became hyper-aware of my surroundings. I kept my drink close, watching as he got progressively drunk. His attempts at touching me were no longer casual, they were desperate. When he tried to kiss me, I turned my head away, but he grabbed my chin and whispered, "Why are you playing hard to get?" That was it for me. I forced a smile, said I was tired, and insisted we call it a night. He offered to walk me home. I refused. He asked again, this time more firmly. I lied and said I had a friend waiting for me. His expression changed in an instant. His jaw clenched. His eyes darkened. He took a deep breath and said, "Fine, but I'll see you soon." I walked away quickly, my heart racing. When I got home, I locked every door and window, my skin crawling with unease. That night, I barely slept. The next morning, I woke up to a notification. Jake had sent me a message. It was just one sentence. "You looked so peaceful sleeping." I never told him where I lived.